Now, the star of The Lion King on the West End stage is Sello Maake Ncube. Now, he plays Mufasa, and he's a huge star in Africa, and recently came over to the UK to take the lead role in The Lion King. So I asked him, does he miss home?
Well, it's home from home, you know, and a lot of friends keep asking, aren't you missing home yet? I said, well, I'm home. Why should I be missing home, you know?
Now, we should say you're a big star in South Africa, where you come from. You were born in Johannesburg. You're over here now. You've got a lot on your plate. You're also working on another production as well, aren't you, at the same time?
Yeah, at the moment I'm going to be working on Woza Albert, which is a production that kind of gave me my break, you know, into the business in 1986. And now I'm in the production, but as a director, and I'm glad that it's coming to London.
How are you able to balance the two? Because you're in The Lion King, it's 8 shows a week, I think, isn't it? And you're doing this as well. How do you cope?
Well, I don't know how I'm going to cope, because I'm only starting rehearsals next week. And basically I'm going to be rehearsing during the day and coming to perform in the evenings. And I will see how that goes. But it's not a new thing to me, because what I used to do back home, I used to do a TV series during the day and rehearse plays in the evenings. So I'm kind of used to kind of working myself like a donkey.
So it's not a terribly showbiz lifestyle. There's not too much time for drinking and the hedonistic lifestyle.
Unfortunately, I don't have that luxury, you know. And I think it's something I feel so passionate about theatre, and I think about my culture back home. I feel very strongly that my culture back home hasn't had the opportunity to have good expression. And I think if I don't work myself to the bone, nobody will. And I feel, you know, duty bound to work myself the way I do.
Now, I said earlier you were born in Johannesburg. How did you go from being born there to being a big star on the London stage?
I guess, you know, it started with me, you know, joining one of the most prolific and known writer in South Africa called Gibson Kenter. I worked with him for a year, and then he decided to close shop, because then in 82, 83 in South Africa, that was the beginning of TV channels for black people. And at that time, my politics were not allowing me to get involved on television. And instead I chose to work as a clerk. And then in 1985, that's when I got the opportunity to do Woza Albert. And I guess since then, since 85, it has been like a steady climb, you know, to end up on West End stage. And also I had the opportunity of working with people like Morgan Freeman, Danny Glover, in a movie called Bob. It was a South African movie, and, you know, that's how it is gone, really.
There's a wonderful moral throughout this about family, and of course it's the lion thing, really, isn't it? The tribe and the fact that you have to stick together. Yeah. And you get a wonderful sense of family about this when you come to see it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, like I was saying earlier on, that, you know, I mean, if, you know, a family comes and they've been, you know, having a little squabble, watching the play sort of like kind of, you know, bonds them together again. I mean, I found, you know, it brings my little boys every time I'm on stage and Mufasa is with Simba. I mean, it just makes me relive my relationship with my son, you know, and how fathers or parents always want to make good of their children, and they don't want them to follow in their footsteps. You know, it's like, do as I say, but not do as I do.
How difficult is it for you to balance your relationship with your family when you're on stage every night? You're doing matinees, Wednesdays, Saturdays. It must be difficult.
Well, my family's back home, so I'm here by myself. I don't know, and I just believe in the power of spiritual connection. I always believe that every time I have a thought of them, that connects me to them, and at that moment they also might be having a thought about me, and, you know, and so it goes.
It's a wonderful production. We need to talk about the scenery, and we need to talk about your costumes. You actually believe that the animals that we know are real. We believe that you are a lion.
I know, you know, I mean, that's why I say, people like Jodie Taymor, like in putting the whole thing on stage, they did a tremendous work. The combination of the animalistic, external appearance, and combining that with the human element. And also, again, because, we also are animals, and we just that we are a bit intelligent because we can communicate in words.
Some of us are.
You know, but also I find that, you know, in performing I think the animal in me, the instincts, they actually come into play, and they actually are heightened in this production than they were ever before.
We won't give too much of the plot away. I mean, you've probably seen the Disney film. It's an absolutely marvellous film and a wonderful musical. And so many acclaimed producers, directors, music writers, as you said earlier, Elton John wrote a lot of the music, and now a great performer. You've just said down the line that a lot of people ringing in saying you even sound like a lion. You have that wonderful growl in your voice, which is marvellous.
Is that so? Well, I can only attribute the compliment should go to my mother.
Do you work on that growl? Because it's fantastic.
Not really. It's, I guess maybe that's what got me the part, innit? Listen to me saying in it now.
You've been in London a little too long.
I'm picking up on the London mannerisms. I'm going to say, I'm British. But yeah, I guess, it's something that maybe it's what got me the part in the first place. And my voice has always been like this.